It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out of my mind. It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. I'm putting you out, trash day, I'm putting you out of my mind. Now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up the house. Taking all your garbage, taking all your garbage, taking all your garbage.
When my creative juices are in the crapper, and I'm daydreaming about being a napper, there's only one guiding light to show my way, and that is, it's Can Crusher Day!
That hurts me.
Why?
Because I couldn't yell like that. Like, it's going to be a non-Mark yelling day.
Yeah, Mark's got the stone.
Yeah, Keith Stone.
Keith, we are not drinking beers today because Mark can't drink beers. He's all stoned.
I have water, apple cider vinegar, and lemon juice.
I have water. I have a migraine. I've been pounding water all day and I still am
you
dehydrated.
are dripping everywhere, not in a good way.
I'm sweating like a champ. Something must be good going on inside this bottom mine.
Welcome to Can Crushers, folks. Two everyday garbage men talk wrestling and their diseases.
Diseases. And we are a vast amount of diseases.
We are.
Probably because we're garbage men.
Yeah, it is the season to get something.
Well, I feel bad, though. You look like shit.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I feel like it. I feel like I have a jackhammer in my kidney, and that's about it.
Isn't it crazy? And when you pee it out, it's probably going to be like a pebble or something.
And it's going to hurt even worse, I heard.
Yeah, because
Right. Let's just not go down that track right now because...
I get it. Down that track. That's good.
Right.
Well, let's talk about something happier. The Bellas retired.
They are,
but Brie already wants to come back.
No, Nikki said maybe.
Oh, Nikki wants to come back.
Nikki says maybe.
She's still going to be an ambassador for WWE.
She is. And Brie will be too. They really are. And I like how you caught on to the whole women's thing because that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow night on Blog Talk Radio.
Oh, I'm telling the women's division, and you're going to find out when we get into Raw and SmackDown, is in shambles right now.
It is. It is from last night on SmackDown. What the hell? But now they want to start a podcast and compete with us.
Well, good luck, Bellas. We're the best tag team duo out there. Male, female.
And if you're not down with that,
we got 2 words for you.
Pick it.
Pick it?
Trash it.
Oh.
Smash it.
Crush it?
Crush it. Yeah.
We're the Can Crushers?
Yeah, it's a little rough.
A little rough today.
You wait to hear my interview with Cash Flow on Friday. You want to talk about... Because last night I was really on the drugs. You know, I was taking my pills and I just had taken my pill and...
Last night I was really on my drugs.
It's one of those shows again.
Welcome to this podcast, y'all. Welcome to this podcast.
So, yeah, he's telling me stuff and I just ask him the same question again. He's like... Hey, Mark, what are you talking about? It's a good one. I'm not going to edit it out because I want to show you how stoned, quotations, I was.
Stoned to the bone. A little shout out to my boy, Dominic D'Angelo. Do you remember him?
I do.
He is a big writer for wrestling.
WrestleZone,
I believe.
Yeah. His promo that he did on... Did you see it?
He cut a promo yesterday, and that's what I wanted to talk about. He cut a promo yesterday... as a writer, but as a wrestling writer.
On the Terry Funk book, which I need to find that.
Oh,
I really need to find him and Sabu have a book out. Sabu's might be coming out, but Funk's is now out, and I need to get that. I'm not a reader.
Did you read McFoley's book?
I have all of them.
Oh, I need to borrow them, okay. I guess.
Well, I have to get them back from Helen.
Oh, Helen's got them.
Yeah, I don't know why, if she's reading them, but she's got all my wrestling books right now. I think in time she wants to catch up and be a main subscriber to Can Crushers.
She's already the main subscriber. She's the only one that listens to the podcast.
Oh, her and Mrs. English Professor.
And Swan Dog.
I caught him on that, but nonetheless.
OVW report.
OVW's looking great. Yeah, let's do this report, then we'll come back, talk Raw and SmackDown. This might be actually a short show. Next week, actually, real quick before we go to OVW, we're going to kind of blow over Raw and SmackDown. I want to talk with you. I want to talk with the English professor, maybe Pat and Soup, and kind of get collective WrestleMania thoughts, as it'll be like a huge WrestleMania blowout show.
Yeah,
I know it's go home week, but not a lot's gonna happen.
No.
18 matches are now docketed for the freaking WrestleMania.
Maybe 19 after SmackDown last night.
Whatever. It's unbelievable, but it's only gonna start. Kickoff show is gonna start at 5:00, so only 2 hours of pregame, and then into
10 hours of WrestleMania.
It's not gonna be over till midnight.
No.
All
of midnight. I'm probably going to have to call off work the next day.
I'm already scheduling it, so good.
Nice.
Hopefully I can have some beers during WrestleMania.
Yay! OVW report.
OVW 1023 starts with a recap of Dustin Jackson winning the TV title as Hermano last week over Colton Cage. And then it just gets a little bit crazy from here on out. Danny comes out to expose Dustin Jackson to start the show, and she's telling the fans that he's a cheater, he beat women because he hit her a couple weeks ago, and he's just somebody that he's not. Well, Lily comes out, which was Colton Cage's ex-wife, and says, no, this isn't happening in my house. Lily's like, I'm going to tell all the secrets about Colton Cage as well, because who has more secrets in her back pocket but an ex-wife? Well, Dustin comes out because they kind of got in a little scuffle, and then boom, from out of nowhere, Colton Cage drills Dustin Jackson with a chair in the back. Fight takes place, goes into the back, and Dustin Jackson gets bounced off a locker, and then head on a locker, and then bam, concerto, as the chair smashes off his head. You see Colton dragging Dustin back out to the ring, and then when he gets out there, I see why they put, due to graphic material, Dustin Jackson's face is just split. Blood is everywhere. The doctors come in, officials come in to try to help out Dustin. So they get him in the back, and they're trying to mend the wounds, and it's unbelievable. But this all only takes place after Colton Cage does his best impersonation of Jake the Snake Roberts and DDT's Dustin Jackson on the cement, busting his head open even more. It's unbelievable how graphic and brutal his face just looked. It looked like a pan of hamburger. Up next is Smooth and Gunn versus the Entourage, but this doesn't start out for minutes. Smooth comes out and he's pissed. He's pissed at Tony Gunn's partner. He is a paper champion. He's just living off of that he beat Abyss and, Sami Callihan. He's really never defended against somebody like Justin Smooth. Well, Gunn comes out and says, you know what? I'm ready. I don't need to say anything because I am the champ. And then the boys come out, the Entourage. DL3 and Shiloh come out and drop some mad raps. Little beats, kind of ripping on both of them. But this was a quick match. It really was. The Entourage had the upper hand for a little bit, but both Smooth and Gunn were going, I think, they were going to attack each other. Street Justice is hit, and the kill shot is hit. Smooth gets the pin, and the tension, you can cut it with a knife in Davis Arena. It's unbelievable. Out next to the ring is our guest this week on Can Crusher Spotlight. It's going to be Cash Flow, and he is pissed. He wants his money, and he's done playing games. He calls out Sam Thompson. Sam comes out with an Xbox. Not an Xbox One, not an Xbox 360, but the original big Xbox that Thompson says, hey, this is worth everything to me. My brother gave it to me, and I don't even know if you can get games for that anymore, realistically. So Cash says, it's not worth $1,500. I thought it was only $1,000, but interest has now bumped it up to $1,500. Sam says, take it or leave it. Well, Flo takes it, and he takes it out to the floor, smashes it off the floor, and then begins to beat the old, thick, tank-like Xbox with a chair. Sam jumps into Flo's arm, trying to hit him with a crossbody block. To no avail. Flo throws him into the ring post and then leaves him into a pile. He grabs a mic and he's like, next week, if you don't have my money, I'm taking something else. Flo is all about business. Guys, if you want to hear the real business, make sure you tune in this Friday as I sit down with Cash Flo. This guy has been through hell. And Sam Thompson, I'm ready to tell you, I'm here to tell you, one or the other, that you don't want to mess with him. He has battled more people in weird ways that, Cash Flo. Guys, if you've seen the post that I posted yesterday about the entourage kind of taking a shower, I really can't explain this. Just go back and watch that clip, Thunder Kitty taking a shower, entourage one. I can't do it any justice, so make sure you watch the clip on our Facebook page. Next up, and this is the way the show ends with the TV gauntlet, and Dustin Jackson unable to defend, so we will have a new TV champion. And it starts off with Nigel Winters against Dimes. Again, these guys, I love the matches. This has been a big teaser match for a while. I want to see this a full-blown match because these guys, they came up together. They came into the business together. They know each other like, the back of each other's hand. They just put on a great match. They're great young talent in OVW. Nonetheless, Dimes ends up hitting the change maker. It's a stunner to win. Next up, Dimes takes on Matt Vine, newcomer, part of like the Impact type of roster that he's showing up to see. He does a great Rude Awakening. He's got the look. Like, this guy should be on the OVW roster. He's just got a look that he could make things happen. He's buff. He's ready to go. But nonetheless, Dimes wins with a backslide. You don't see many backslide victories, but nonetheless, Dimes pulls it off. Next up, Revolver comes out to take on Dimes, and Dimes is kind of a little weary, and he gets attacked early because Revolver is a snake, and he'll do anything to win. He'll cheat, whatever. He's just ruthless. Dimes does use his quickness to stay away and one step ahead of him. After Adam hits Dimes in a figure four, Dimes gets in a sleeper then, and he kind of like rolls him up, and he gets a pin. He flips over Revolver to get the win. Dimes, he just beat Simbodi at Clash in the Bluegrass, so Dimes is hot right now. He is on fire. Dimes now will take on Drew Hernandez, and we know how dastardly Drew is. He's been nut-shotting everybody when the ref's not looking. Nonetheless, Dimes is spent. You're like, man, he's not going to get through Drew. Drew hits a power bomb, but Dimes does kick out. He's running just on Hart right now. But then Drew starts pandering to the crowd a little bit, and Dimes keeps fighting. He rolls him up from a power bomb to get the win. Unbelievable. Again, Dimes is, money. I can just keep going with these horrible puns, but nonetheless. Then comes out Amon. Last man in the TV gauntlet match, and he attacks Dimes. He chokes him on the rope. He's a villain. He's just villainous. Dimes kicks out of a power slam. Dimes still barely on Hart. Amon tried to straight to hell, but I don't know how this happens. From the straight to hell, which is a pedigree, guys, if you're not watching OVW. And if you're not watching OVW, again, why the hell not? OVW Network is only $4.99 right now. Subscribe to it. You get 2 weeks free as well. Nonetheless, Dimes sneaks out of a pedigree, hits a change maker, and then becomes the new TV champion. Head to the back as the show ends with Dustin Jackson being taken to the hospital in an ambulance. The doctors on site cannot do anything. What's this going to do for April 6th, Saturday Night Special. It's a match in a cage, but if he's not cleared to wrestle at Davis Arena now, man, Dustin Jackson's just been through a hell of a lot. Guys, and I've also posted this week their social media match, and it's just a way to get my girls, the It Girls, on the show. It was Jaylee against Valerie versus Callie and Amazing Maria. I have never seen Amazing Maria. Bigger girl teaming with Callie Young, and Jaylee controlled this until she tagged in Valerie. Valerie kind of lost control for the It Girls. And then this broke down. Jaylee comes back in the ring. Valerie comes back in the ring. It's all over the place. This is going to be another great match on April 6th at Saturday Night Special. The match is thrown out, but Jaylee is probably still fighting with Callie right now because she is the one that deserves that OVW Women's Champion. When we come back after this great commercial from Collar and Elbow, Paul and I will talk about Raw, SmackDown, and then we'll lead into the old English professor and his tip of the week.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
So it came out on Monday that the women are headlining WrestleMania, and I'm pumped about that.
Well, I mean, you heard about it all show long, all Raw long, that the women are headlining. And it is awesome that they're going to be headlining. They deserve it.
But I'm going to stir the pot. Are they going to get what they deserve, or are they going to be booed because something stupid like Lesnar keeping a title, or Kofi not winning, or something else is going to piss the fans off, and the girls aren't going to get their to-dos?
No, because I think the only thing keeping WrestleMania hot right now is the man and Ronda.
Right. And it gets hotter on Tuesday.
Sorry, Charlotte.
But she's part of it now. She really is. I mean, I don't know what the heck's going to go on. But, nonetheless, it's beat the clock to start Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, against the Riot Squad, who gets thrown under the bus.
Which does nothing for this.
No.
It did nothing for the main event.
I could see if all three of them won within a second of each other via submission.
But there's no advantage to this. They usually did it for an advantage, or you get a title shot. This is just to beat the clock. Great. You can throw garbage faster than I can, but guess what? It gets thrown.
At the end of the day, it still gets thrown.
Right.
But they threw the Riot Squad under the bus.
All the time.
They made Ruby look weak.
Yeah.
Again. And she is one of the girls that you could have as a champion.
I love her. And it's going to take her Money in the Bank, maybe, to bounce back.
So Ronda won with, what, a minute 30 seconds?
Minute 25.
Minute 25, and then
Charlotte
did not win.
No.
She lost to the clock.
Right, and then Becky won with 7 seconds left on the clock, beating Ronda. So a minute in whatever math that is, 18 seconds, whatever,
18 seconds.
I don't know.
17 seconds.
Good thing we don't have a math professor.
Don't worry, he'll probably correct us on this too.
Yeah. But the sweet...
He's educated.
He is educated. The sweet Texas cloverleaf that I saw on Monday night, you don't remember it?
No.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was, I can't remember who put it in, but it was a Texas cloverleaf. Dean Malenko always did it, you know.
Yeah.
So.
That was also the Scorpion Deathlock, pretty much.
Reversed, kind of, yeah. You're up more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, then we're to Finn against Bob and Leo. But.
Leo's hurt.
So you get Jinder.
Okay.
You saw the writing on the wall there.
Yeah. Jinder was taking that L.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So now Finn's got a title match at WrestleMania.
And you knew it was going to happen.
And then Bob just choke slams everybody.
Ruthless aggression.
And he's mad at the world. Both Singh brothers and Jinder.
Done.
Is this going to set up Jinder somewhere? Or was this just Bob being Bob?
It's Bob. I think it's just Bob being Bob. Jinder's going to end up in an Andre Battle Royal. You know, you're going to have a lot of people in Andre Battle Royal that's not going to do anything. It's going to come down to 3 people, and we can name them now.
Braun and the Saturday Night Live hosts.
Yeah. Yippee.
And hopefully the Saturday Night Live hosts win.
What?
Yep.
You're over Braun.
I'm not over Braun. I'm just over this whole thing. So why not? What, they don't do anything with the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Don't.
Nothing happens.
Nothing.
Mojo won it last year. Now he's talking into mirrors.
Was it Mojo last year? No, Mojo was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, because Gronk helped him.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. Gronk retired.
What? Yeah.
Do you see him coming?
No.
Yes.
You think Gronk is going to now be a WWE superstar?
At least he'll show up at Mania.
Okay.
I'm telling you, he's going to show up at Mania. He will. Elias comes out, but I was talking to Chad Miller about upcoming things on OVW, so I missed what he had to say, but his whole shtick this week was he's in New York and he's getting ready for the greatest concert of all time.
Because he's the greatest performer of all time.
But it's now been said that Joan Jett, not Pat Benatar. Joan Jett is now going to play Rhonda's entrance music. That's not fair to Elias. He's supposed to be the only musical act.
He's going to blow Joan Jett out of the water.
Is he?
Yeah.
New song from
He's Elias.
New song, not Elias's words.
No, new song.
Nice. You have NXT against the Revival in a non-title match, and NXT wins. We've seen this. This isn't a great build-up for WrestleMania.
No. They're not going to do anything with it.
Battle Royals are going to be on the pre-show and probably 205.
Right.
Where are your tag team matches?
Pre-show.
Do they even have opponents?
Both tag team titles will probably be on the pre-show and the Cruiserweight.
You don't think the Battle Royals? Not in 2 hours.
No.
You're going to get 3 matches.
Maybe one of them, maybe the girls' Battle Royal, but not both of them.
The pre-show starts at 5. So from 5 to 6, it's on the network. And then 6 to 7, it's on the network and USA. So you're going to get something on the
big.
USA.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get anything monstrous.
Nothing from Fox.
Well, not until October.
Oh.
Like I said, October, Paul. Come on.
October, Paul. Come on.
So I think NXT is going to get a tag team shot at WrestleMania. But again, we've said that we don't like them as a team.
No.
I really don't.
They're better individually than they are as a team.
They win this, and
if I see Aleister Black team with anybody, I would hope that it'd be Bray Wyatt.
Right.
Because they are both that kind of character.
And you told me something. Yesterday I took the day off to sleep and do nothing. But sleep and do nothing.
Try to pass a stone.
Yeah, and Keith wasn't coming to see me. You said Bray has a new haircut?
There's a Instagram picture of Bray Wyatt, and he's got, he still has the dreads, but it's in a mohawk now.
Why don't you do that?
Why, what, dreadlocks?
Yeah.
Because it's gross.
They are gross, but...
to me, that's just gross. I literally shower 3 to 4 times a day.
Minimally.
Minimally.
I agree. And some people in my house don't think that's right.
I shower once in the morning before I go to work, so I smell good for the garbage. I mean, I still put on the same dirty pants that I wore the day before.
But still, I do
Unless
too.
they're standing in the corner by themselves. And then it's time
Which
to wash
happens
them.
on Fridays.
Which then it's time to wash them.
After work Fridays.
Yeah.
Right. Back to Raw. Drew comes out and he says, hey, he hopes Roman doesn't accept. He wants to crush his hopes.
He knows Roman will accept, but he's pleading to Joe, who is Roman the man. For your wife's sake, for your kid's sake, don't accept this.
Da-da.
Yeah.
Da-da.
Of course, Roman's like,
I'm accepting.
Roman is accepting, but this isn't coming from Roman. Keep my wife and my kids out your mouth.
He punches him.
And then he get punched in the mouth.
But then Drew hits him in the ding-dong.
Yeah, nice low blow. Way to keep it. Is there any other way? What happened to a thumb to the eye?
I was just going to say that.
Ric Flair needs some homage every time somebody pokes somebody in the eye.
Right. I agree. Anything.
I'd rather see that than somebody get hit in the ding dong.
All the time. And it's across wrestling right now. Like the ding dong's the hottest shot. That and super kicks.
Ding dong and super kicks.
Super kick them in the ding dong. So after that, the Claymore, Drew walks out. Then Drew's backstage and he runs into Dino. And Dean just says,
"Did you just call me a cockroach and said you were exterminated me?" And hearing Drew McIntyre say "legit," well, I couldn't think of where I was going. Legit.
You know the legit hug. You can say legit huggers.
Yeah, but him saying legit. I legit don't know how you're standing right now. What? What did you just turn into like a 13-year-old schoolgirl?
He's Scottish. They don't say legit over there.
No, they don't. I legit don't know how you're standing right now. Oh my god.
So we have a Falls Count Anywhere match for later on tonight, and writing's on the wall. But out next is the legit huggers, and Sasha's going to take on Nat by herself. Okay.
And Bailey is in the corner. And so is the Glamazon, Bethany Phoenix.
And this was a great match. I loved how the setup was going to be. You know, it's great. And then...
Dun-dun, dun-dun. No, it was the wrong shield.
Roman comes out and
Wrong shield. It was the Samoan SWAT sisters.
Slaughterhouse.
Whatever. I like the Samoan SWAT sisters anyway.
And they kind of take out Bailey and Sasha, but then Beth just goes Glamazon and takes everybody out.
So are we seeing a 4-way dance for the Raw women's or the women's title, tag team titles?
We are. It's pretty much said on SmackDown. We're kind of combining everything. It was said on SmackDown because the Iconics said, "Hey, we're getting into this mix too." I'm shocked NXT isn't involved unless it happens tonight.
Yeah, and it might happen tonight.
But then you're taking them off of, you're taking Kyrie and, Iro Shirai.
You know, this is like I said before, this is a perfect setup to get your other two.
Yeah.
Well, two of your four.
You can bring 3 of them up and 2 can fight.
Horsewomen of MMA into the mix, and then we have our 4-way dance for Survivor Series.
At least to set it up, because writing's on the wall. Ronda is leaving for a bit.
Yeah.
Until, I bet, SummerSlam.
She needs a break.
Yeah. So.
Hopefully to go to the training center.
The training center. Dude, it was announced that Survivor Series is actually going to come back to Chicago. It's been 30 years, bro, since it's been in Chicago. So
you're excited about that.
I am.
Also announced that Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart, the Hart Foundation, are going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
So that's actually I was going to talk about next week as well, but screw it, let's talk now. How do you like that there's now several people 2-time Hall of Famers?
I'm okay with it because that's the only way you get the Neidhart in there, and that's pretty much the only way. Did Chyna get accepted on her own?
No.
That's the only way you get Chyna into the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Beings of her personal background.
Right.
So...
Yeah, and X-Pac and Billy Gunn said they would not have showed up if Chyna wasn't involved in this. And Booker T is now 2 times in, but they released... Stevie Ray said that he is also going to say something about Scary Sherry as well to get her part of Harlem Heat now too. Which, good. The English professor actually has something to say about the whole Hall of Fame, so it's right on.
It's right on.
It is right on. So Kurt comes out, he was backstage, and him and Joe were having a shtick and whatever. Baron Corbin says, "Hey, I'm going to beat your ass." And Kurt says, "Screw you," and walks away. That's it.
Yeah, good paraphrase.
That's it. Time for a moment of bliss. The SNL guys are on satellite, and Braun is with Alexa, and they're actually in the ring. I like it in the ring better.
Yes, the moment of bliss deserves to be in the ring or in the back.
I think they should go back to
the old barber shop,
Piper Pit, or the barber shop.
Yeah,
or set something up in the corner. You have plenty of room,
right?
At every arena,
put like a love lounge or something there
instead of 2 chairs.
Yes,
and for KOs, you can have something cool. And there's enough talk shows now.
Miz TV, you could set it up just like a late night TV show.
Nice, look at you. You're a writer.
I would love to be.
So this whole shtick is, we've already released it, that the guys from SNL are in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Yep.
Great.
Great.
I'm so excited for this. Elias, again, he's in front of MSG, and he says he sells out his rehearsals more than Billy Joel sells out MSG.
Wow.
I know. Billy Joel is...
Oh, nope. Still not as big as Elias.
All right. Corbin versus Cruz. Corbin makes quick work. Why are they're continuing to push Corbin? I don't understand this. Nothing. He's got nothing going.
No push. Nobody likes him. That's about the push that he has, though. Nobody likes him.
Right, and that's what it is. I mean, does he get involved in a title picture soon?
I don't know.
You hope not.
I hope so. Because I'm tired of seeing Finn and Bob and not seeing the Universal title.
Yeah, that's going to...
I don't want to see this. I don't want to see these title run. I don't mind title runs, but I don't want to see the same match every other pay-per-view.
Every other? It's been every
pay-per-view. Yeah, like Joe versus AJ, that went 3 pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Too long.
And it's going to be Finn against Bob now, again at WrestleMania. Finn wins, he's climbing the championships of Intercontinental, title holders, or whatever the hell I'm trying to say. But they're all worthless. Worthless.
1 or 2 weeks at the most.
Yeah.
Some 1 or 2 days.
A title does not need to change hands. Is that because fans can't stay with the story?
No, I don't think so. I just don't think they have any stories that are worth going.
So Rollins comes out to chat, and he says Brock isn't going to do shit to him, and he's ready for Brock, and this is, his path to greatness, more or less. Heyman comes out and says, hey, you don't inspire people like Cena did, like Hart did, like Flair, like HBK, and that kind of upset Seth, so he kind of chased after him, and he just stood over him. He didn't push him down, he didn't do anything, Paul tripped and just was like, hey,
don't hit me in the face.
Don't hit me in the face. It was a blah raw. It really was. Kurt Angle against Samoa Joe. I do like what they did with Kurt Angle this week. If you're not a TNA or Impact fan, you really don't know. Kurt and Joe had some great matches in Impact.
Yes.
Then they did the same thing on SmackDown with Kurt and AJ, but that got botched, which sucks. We'll get to that in a minute. But see, I was getting it in. Angle gets a lucky win off of the Coquina Clutch. I was shocked they put Angle over that way.
Over Joe.
I thought maybe Joe would snap and Kurt would win by DQ. I knew Kurt was going to win, but I thought more by DQ.
Right. You're not going to see Kurt Angle lose.
No. So Triple H comes out to talk to Batista, and this is just getting worse. This really is getting worse. It's like me talking to this piece of paper.
He had a piece of paper in his hand. It was a legal paper. And he's like, Dave had a stipulation to the match. And
yada, 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 blah, blah, blah,
what Batista wants, if he beats Batista, or if Batista beats Triple H, then he has to give him what he wants. What he really, really wants.
So tell me what he wants.
Yeah.
It was good. That was
It was funny.
That was the only thing that was worthwhile out of this, that I thought he was actually going to say, tell me what you want, what you really, really, one time. Because he knows the song, for the love
Everybody
of God.
knows the song.
So I was happy. I was actually marking out a little bit on the Spice Girls. I would go see them again. Or I would not again. I would just go see them.
He said again.
I did not see them. You can ask Cal.
He met again.
No. Elias again. People are stealing his money now, but he really doesn't care because he's going to make trillions off of everything.
Off of WrestleMania.
And then Dean against Drew was the main event. Chairs, kendos, tables, a Claymore, 10 count. Dean doesn't get up. Are we done seeing Dean? I mean,
yeah, pretty much, because he's done in April.
Yeah, does he get involved in the Roman Drew match at WrestleMania for his goodbye?
I don't think, but I don't know.
I bet you he does. Just as a see you later. On the SmackDown, and New Day comes out.
New Day!
Thanks, I wasn't doing it. And there's been all over social media that they're going to quit. They're going to quit unless something happens with Kofi. He deserves it. 11 years in the wrestling business. He should get the damn shot. and they're just this close to quit, and Vince says, hey, I'll tell you what, if you two, Big E and Woods, win a gauntlet match tonight, Kofi gets his match.
So
no funny business.
So now 2 weeks in a row we've had an hour of nothingness and then an hour of gauntlet matches.
Right. But this is the shocking moment. Flair comes out, and it's her against Asuka. And I'm like, all right, this is a nice little match before WrestleMania, teaser or whatever. And it's for your SmackDown Women's Championship. I thought, no way in hell. No chance. That's what you got.
And then Charlotte wins.
What the flying...
And this is where I come in because I didn't see the beginning of it.
I didn't either.
I text Mark. I'm
the
like,
English professor told me that's...
What the hell are they doing with Charlotte winning the title?
Right?
Like, why?
So Asuka...
The only thing that it could do would be to legitimize Charlotte being in the match.
Right.
At WrestleMania and unifying that both SmackDown and Raw women's title. So there'll be one women's title.
That's
and then
what I think.
maybe a women's Intercontinental for the B list.
Oh, listen to you. Listen to you.
Or a
Notes from
women's
Mark.
TV title or something.
Oh, if it's a TV title, I'd be so pumped. That's my all-time favorite title.
There needs to be, we've said this, there needs to be a B card title for the women.
Right.
But what would you
But
make?
then that means the women have to float. And I'm okay with that.
I'm better with the women floating because there's only a handful of anyway.
Right.
And you can float them through all three brands, NXT, Raw, and SmackDown.
I don't think you float them to the NXT. NXT, Baszler and Kyrie and EO and all
They
that.
have to be coming up soon.
That I know. They have to be. But there's a batch coming. I mean, well, Chelsea Green in her first televised match broke her wrist. So now she's on the shelf for a while, which she's hot shit down there. I mean, she's a great independent star making her way. You got Peraza down there coming up. I mean, you have talent that can stay in NXT, but you're right. A lot should be coming up. It's just what I don't know. I really don't. We have a week. Does Flair drop it next week? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I really don't. But this means Asuka, to me, is buried.
Oh, they buried her with Flair again. Also, there's some feedback from the SmackDown women on Instagram and stuff like that. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
8 times in 3 years now she's got a title.
Yeah.
Nothing against Charlotte. She's great. She's a great talent. Don't get me wrong.
But what about these other women that are busting their ass and you just keep giving it to Charlotte? Not that Charlotte's not busting her ass, but there's other people that deserve it too.
Right. I mean, we all know you don't win or lose the title.
No.
You know, it's entertainment. It is just consistently given to her. So Kurt comes out as Charlotte celebrating, though. Did you see that?
Well, we gotta push. We gotta move.
Yeah.
Because we have an hour of gauntlet match coming.
So Charlotte kind of gives him a stink eye. And you get Kurt against AJ in another TNA match, like I said. And I thought, wow, this is going to be a great match. This is going to be a great match.
And then out of nowhere, RKO. This match is over.
Done. But Randy doesn't really touch Kurt. But Kurt goes after Randy and helps AJ up. And then I said, is this going to turn into a tag team match? Because you need to trim something.
Right.
And Kurt, to put on a stellar match at WrestleMania, is going to be rough.
Right.
He moves like me.
Very well. You could tell that his neck is still real stiff.
Right. So The Miz comes out, and he's in the ring. He's talking about his dad, this, that, and the other thing. And he says, hey, Shane, I want a Falls Count Anywhere so I can drag you all over the place. I want to beat your ass in front of Pat Lupino at WrestleMania. So let's make it happen. So everybody comes out.
Here comes security. Here comes all the bad guys.
Sanity is still employed by WWE.
Yeah, Sanity's still around.
And Primo.
Woo! Here is where I told you today, I thought this would be a good spot to bring in EC3 because him and Shane would hang out.
They would.
And
they're boys.
That would be a good story after the Miz and Shane.
Miz and EC3, you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah.
Miz and EC3 would be a good story. And you could even move them towards the
heavyweight title.
heavyweight
WWE,
title or
yeah.
American title.
The American. The U.S.?
U.S. title.
USA.
I do that every week.
Every week. But Miz ends up beating everybody but Shane. Shane, sneaks away. 8 people, Miz takes them all on. But
the Miz is unstoppable.
But Miz is going to...
Because Shane said something about his mama.
About his dad.
He said something about his mom.
He did say the biggest mistake was his dad getting his mom pregnant.
That was it.
Done.
Angry.
Done. And then I got a text from the English professor saying this is god-awful. So, all right, next hour, tag team gauntlet match. New Day starts with Gallows and Anderson. And again, I thought they got the release. They've asked for it. I thought these guys are on their way out. AEW, here we come. They're boys. Is this the last time we see them?
Probably.
Boom. I mean, this match was over. The big guy, Luke didn't really even get in. Up, down, down. Anderson pinned. Then comes out
Rusev Day
in Shinsuke. And the only thing I really noticed is Lana is healed. No boot. She's healthy. She's got a haircut. And she's looking good again. And they lose by up, down, down.
Up, down, down. That's 2 up, down, downs.
The bar comes out.
We don't just raise the bar. We are the bar.
And Corey Graves had a great little, one-liner that...
I will never say that.
Xavier Woods was born in a barrel of butcher knives and raised in the forest. What the god hell does that mean?
He don't know. Corey Graves is the worst ever.
Worst.
I'm bad. Corey Graves is... I could at least shine in the darkness. Corey Graves is just dark.
What?
Yeah. If we were candles.
Oh, you're a beacon. You are definitely a beacon. So New Day wins. They beat them afterwards.
But the bar was pissed and threw Big E through a table.
Right. So out comes the Usos.
What up, Us?
Us!
Welcome to the Uso Penitentiary.
And I was thinking Cheryl was going to come out because she's been, late that she's going to come out. But it was her birthday yesterday, so they gave her the day off.
Happy birthday.
And they come into the ring, and I love what they did. They said, hey, we've battled you guys for a couple years now. We have respect for you. We forfeit. Out. And they were rooting for Kofi last week.
Yeah, so you kind of figured that was coming.
I did not.
But it was the same with Gallows and Anderson. They were rooting for Kofi last week.
Right, all of them were.
Right.
Even the ball was back there, but they're there to get money. So it's a cut back to Daniel and Rowan, and Daniel's like, this is bull crap. He says, this is bull crap, as he kicks a chair.
He rock-starred a locker room.
He did. The TV went flying. It was good. It wasn't bad.
And then we go to a commercial. And then we come back, and the last team that they have to face is Daniel Bryan and
Rowan.
Rowan.
And this was a beatdown for a while, just by Rowan and Daniel. Big E ended up flipping. That desk weighed more than a tank last night. Unbelievable.
Made of pure concrete and steel.
How?
And sex appeal. Because Big E flipped it over.
But you've seen it before that, like, Mikey Whipwreck or the Mulkeys or anybody can lift this thing up. But last night, this was the heaviest desk known to man.
Well, Big E was tired.
He was tired because he was in the match for
an
47
hour.
minutes.
47 minutes.
47 minutes, folks. They were in this match. So they get the win. They do get the win.
Kofi's going to Mania because Vince said it in the back.
He did. He says, yes, Kofi is going.
Will a B+ guy, player beat a champion like Daniel Bryan, who before he got hurt and retired was a B+ player?
It's rehashed from 2014, I believe.
Yes.
So I want to talk about this next week more, but I just want to put a teaser out. Okay, so if the fans get what they want at WrestleMania, Kofi wins, Becky wins, Seth wins, Finn wins. The tag teams I'm going to throw out because nobody gives two craps about them on WWE. So that's 4 titles that are going to change hands. Throw Finn out because
Nobody cares.
Nobody really
So
cares.
there's 3 major titles that we want to see.
Which one doesn't happen? Because there's no way in hell all 3 of them are going to happen. I don't see it. Everybody wants a title off of Lesnar.
I thought you were going to wait till next week to do this.
I am. I'm giving
I'm not answering it till next week.
You don't have to. Everybody wants the title off of Lesnar. The man is the hottest shtick going. And Kofi, why can't you give it to him for a month?
Right.
But we'll talk about that next week. That's going to be a question I asked all the guys that's going to be on the show next week. So, all right, it's right around the corner is...
Garbage tip of the week.
No.
English.
Ding-a-ling.
Later this summer, Mariano Rivera will be the first ever unanimous inductee into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. Leading the majors in career saves solidified his spot in Cooperstown. His teammate and 6th all-time hits leader Derek Jeter will likely join him next year in the hallowed shrines as a first-time balloter. Curtis Martin had 10 straight 1,000-yard rushing seasons on his way to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Cooperstown and Canton are dedicated to the very best of their respective sports. We can argue about undeserving inductees in any sports Hall of Fame, and we can gripe about who has been unjustifiably shunned from that highest honor. But in either case, we're using statistics to prove our point. However loose their criteria, even the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has guidelines which musical artists must meet to enter. But how does a superstar get into the WWE Hall of Fame? Bruno Sammartino said, "I like Johnny Rods. He's a nice guy, but what has he ever done in our business?" At the time, Sammartino called the WWE Hall of Fame, quote, "just another thing for Vince to make money," close quote. Proving once again that the $1 Million Man was right about everybody having a price, Sammartino entered the same hall several years later. But perhaps Sammartino is worthy of his place in the hall. His 2 world championship reigns totaled nearly 12 years. But the WWE Hall of Fame isn't really about championships. If it is, then why are the Bushwhackers there? Why are Coco Beware, Cowboy Bob Orton, Jake the Snake Roberts, and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff in the hall? There isn't one WWE title between any of those 6. Maybe the WWE Hall of Fame recognizes those superstars who were the greatest entertainers. That would explain the likes of Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Stone Cold, and likely someday John Cena. I find all of these guys entertaining, but what if another fan says, "I hated the punch, boot, leg drop of Hogan. It was repetitive and boring"? Is Ole Anderson right when he says all of Flair's matches were the same? The Stone Cold era didn't appeal to me, and that's about when I checked out as a wrestling fan for a little while. What if someone's all-time favorite wrestler is Skinner, or Repo Man, or The Goon? Why aren't those guys in the Hall of Fame? The point is, these are all opinions and are therefore subjective. There is very little, if any, objective criteria to gauge. I love listening to the stories of some of the inductees. 3 of my favorite speeches were Ric Flair's induction speech, Ric Flair's induction speech as a member of the Four Horsemen, and Ric Flair's speech when he inducted Roddy Piper. But a lot of the speeches are not much different than what you would hear in a YouTube shoot interview or a wrestler's podcast. They're not indicative of a Hall of Fame speech. Flair told some great Roddy stories, but he didn't really tell us what set the rowdy Scotsman apart from his peers to warrant induction. Hillbilly Jim's speech was a lot of endless prattling about taking advantage of opportunity. The reason for that is he didn't have much of a memorable career. What qualifies him as a Hall of Famer? Bruno Sammartino's speech most closely resembled a Hall of Fame speech. He discussed his ability to sell out Madison Square Garden more than any performer ever. But in thanking the fans, he acknowledged he would not be a headliner without them. This again goes back to criteria and credentials. Plenty of people booed Derek Jeter during his playing career. It's his numbers that will put him in the Hall of Fame. And in today's English Tip of the Week, we'll discuss the difference between objective and subjective. An objective is a goal, but to be objective is to be unbiased. If you're objective, you're not including your personal opinion. You're sticking to the facts. Subjective, on the other hand, has feelings. Anything subjective is subject to interpretation. For an example, let's take a look at an inductee into this year's WWE Hall of Fame. The Honky Tonk Man is the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. Is that subjective or objective? Is it an opinion or is it a fact? Answer, it's subjective. It's an opinion. One could argue the Honky Tonk Man got himself disqualified or counted out often to keep his belt. One could also argue he received outside interference from Jimmy Hart and the Hart Foundation to retain his belt. This isn't becoming of the greatest champion ever. Now, if I said the Honky Tonk Man is the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time, that would be objective. It's a fact with no emotional attachment. Another example would be if I said Chris Jericho is the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. Again, that's subjective. That's an opinion. He never had a reign as long as the Honky Tonk Man, so why is he the greatest? If instead I said Chris Jericho has more Intercontinental title reigns than anyone, that would be objective. It's a fact that Chris Jericho has more IC title reigns than anyone ever, and I've attached no emotion to that statement. If I said Can Crushers is the best damn wrestling podcast ever, I'll leave that up to you to decide. And with that, class,
You're dismissed.
Now we can do garbage tip of the week, Mark.
Now you're happy.
The English lesson is over. I'm throwing away my notebook and we're garbage tipping it. But first,
Pro Printing and Office, 814-834-3006. He'll hook you up with some graphics on some cool stuff.
Swanson's Auto Body and Customs, 814-389-2294.
Collar and elbow, hats, hoodies, tees, sweats, jackets. Type in OVW for 10% off
That's
when
if you
check out.
Collarandelbow.com.
Right. Everything's linked to our website, too.
Facebook and Instagram at CanCrusher69.
Gmail, cancrusher69@gmail.com.
Speaking of our website, https://cancrusher69.wixsite.com/cancrusher.
I did a lot of working on that the last couple days.
Well,
and
you laid around for all day yesterday. Hopefully you did something besides watch OVW.
I did watch some OVW.
And the new game show network you found.
I do love that. It's called Buzz, and it's got all the old school ones on, like Card Sharks and Sale of the Century. This dish, I like it a little bit better.
Alexa, Boxcast, Overcast, Bullhorn, Stitcher, Google Podcast, Buzzsprout, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, and Spotify is where you can find this glorious podcast.
Speaking of that, did you see the Snickers commercial?
Yes, when you're not so glorious.
That's actually what was funny. That's what they're doing right now.
Right, making commercials.
Guys, don't forget, every Thursday night from 7 to 8, you can hear us on Blog Talk Radio.
563-999-3464. 563-999-3464.
From 7
One
to 8.
more time, that's 563-999-3464. And you can call in and be on our show and talk with us. Mm-hmm. We'll talk with Mark, because Paul really doesn't do Thursday stuff.
No, the English professor steps in for you there.
It's bingo night.
Woo! We have a lot of guests that come on. Big Steve kind of ends up being part of the show.
Big Steve, we love you.
Lots of events coming up. We tagged them all on our website, but IWC Night of Superstars, it's in Meadville, April.
Night of Superstars 8.
8. Yeah.
It's the 8th one they've done of this.
Right.
In Meadville, Pennsylvania.
April 13th.
Sting, Hardcore Holly, Hurricane, MVP, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Hurricane versus Wardlow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Big match. Duggan is going to go against Jackson Argos. And then you have Andrew Palace and Hardcore Holly against Jock Sampson and Chris LaRusso. So,
That's
big
a big
matches
night.
already. Yeah, big matches.
Sting is not wrestling.
Sting is not wrestling. Sting is on the shelf. This is one that we really want to push. May 10th, it's called From the Ashes. It's a Sean Phoenix benefit. It will be taking place in Lamont Furnace, Pennsylvania. All proceeds from this event will go to help Sean in his medical expenses, as a few months back he took a tumble at IWC and has been out for a while.
This is actually the most perfect setup for this. His name's Sean Phoenix. It's called From the Ashes, so a phoenix rises from the ashes, and it's Lamont Furnace.
Right? Rise is doing some Rise RYSE. Is kind of doing this one. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah.
Imagine Pro Wrestling Volume 2 in Altoona, Pennsylvania, May 18th. You know it's D'Lo Brown.
Right?
It gonna be there. Oh, Mark's getting a phone call.
Junior's calling me at 2:18. Junior's calling me. He's not out of class yet.
Well, maybe he needs something.
He doesn't.
Do we need to
anything.
take a break from the podcast so you can
we're
talk
good.
to him?
No, he's going to tell me he has no homework.
Well, that's good. Even better.
Yeah, or I have to go help him do papers, which
You
I already know
probably
that.
got to help him do papers.
They're sitting over there.
Oh. Garbage tip of the week. Play the song, Mark.
It's playing.
Garbage, 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 garbage,
This is my favorite part.
It always is.
But I really don't have anything for garbage tip of the week. It's been actually pretty good.
No, I will say one thing. Guys, we've said this before. You put your garbage out, and then you get home after you went to eat or something, and you park right in front of it.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that you were mad about that right now.
Consistently. It's going to happen tomorrow on our route.
yeah.
It will happen tomorrow on our route. And
Put it either in the front of your
car?
car or behind your car.
Don't put it way back in your yard.
Or in the middle. Like, we don't want to walk around your stuff.
Yeah. And several people do it, so just come on.
Yeah.
You'd be mad if we would,
Park my car right in front of your powder metal press.
Right, yeah.
Or right in the middle of your library and honk your horn.
Wow.
What?
Are you driving into a library?
That was for Cheryl.
Oh. Beep, 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 beep.
What else do we got, Mark? Is that
Nothing. Nah, we got nothing.
it? Remember, just because you're trash, it doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.
See you next week. Oh, wait. No, we do. No,
Wait, don't go.
Rise this weekend on Rise Women this weekend on Fight. Their biggest one is called Legacy. It's Friday night. It's $14.99.
Do you have any storylines or anything going on right now?
I have dropped it. Like I said.
Oh, Mark blew it.
But a lot.
The people come to us for answers and you just shut them down.
I shit on them.
I take that back, Mark, just because you are trash.
I am trash today. Keith Stone in the house.